Dornbush download 151. We got over 150. Thanks to everyone who liked and shared and friended and supported and whatever else you do on Facebook. This week, my name's Andrew, and it's not Dan or Michael or John or Rod or Brendan. It's actually Emmanuel Vergara. Eman, as I call him, is from Walsh & Co, which is a fund manager that we've engaged, and we'll talk about who they are at the moment. So, Eman, you're from Sydney. How are you finding the weather here today?
Oh, mate, the weather has turned out to be amazing today. Great to be visiting Toowoomba and meeting with yourself and some of your clients.
Yeah, God's own country, and I know it's a real relief when you land at Brisbane West Wellcamp Airport, and great facility.
Absolutely, yeah.
We're very fortunate to have the Wagner family help us in that regard. But certainly great to have you, and also Fitzy, who's hiding up the back there on Snapchat talking to his 3 followers. Fitzy, nice to have you here as well. So, Eman, let's talk about Walsh & Co. Who are Walsh & Co?
Yeah, sure. So Walsh & Co is a specialist global fund manager established by Max Walsh in 2007.
And Max used to be on TV, didn't he? He was on the Sunday program?
Yeah, that's right. And he was editor of the Australian Financial Review many years ago.
Good pedigree.
Yeah. And we specialise in a number of different asset classes. And we have over about $3.2 billion of client assets under management.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes. I mean, we believe that some of the best investment opportunities are not readily accessible to investors. So we try and give access to such sectors to investors, helping them build high quality and diversified portfolios. And I think one of the good things about it is most of our funds are listed on the ASX, so it does give investors access to liquidity.
And, it's interesting you should say that, because you shared with me the other day the Yale Endowment Fund portfolio, and it's only like 20 or 30% shares. The rest of it actually is all these different asset classes, which normally Australian investors find it very hard to get exposure to, but Walsh & Co have sort of that suite of listed products that allows them to do that.
Yeah, that's right. So I think some of the asset classes that we have clients invested in include New York or US residential property, Australian URF is the ticker for that. We have access to US private equity, global equities, and social and sustainable investments.
So that's a great overview as to sort of who Walsh & Co is. What are some? And you touched briefly on some of the funds. Maybe do a bit more of a deeper dive on some of these funds.
Yeah, sure. So we actually have a number of diversified asset exposures, ranging from Asian and emerging market equities. So we have 2 funds. The tickers are AUF and EMF. We also have a number of US private equity funds and New York residential property funds. It's called the US Masters Residential Property Fund. The ticker for that is URF.
And there's some notes too, aren't there?
Yeah, that's right. There's 3 subordinated debt notes paying 7.75% quarterly per annum fixed. And really the strategy of URF is we're actually one of the largest owners of New York residential property. So think your Sesame Street houses, your brownstone apartments, and the strategy there is
Is that how you sort of lead in with investors? Think Sesame Street.
Yeah, I think that the
that's
brownstone.
That's what people resonate. That's what they understand.
Absolutely, there's about 55,000 brownstone apartments in the New York metropolitan market, and we own a large number of them. And really, the strategy is we buy them, renovate them, and then rent them out. So it's a good ASX-listed REIT for clients to gain access to New York residential property.
And that's URF?
That's right.
One transaction that we've recently done is Global Disruption, EGD, for those playing at home. You want to talk a little bit about that one?
Yeah, sure. So the Evans & Partners Global Disruption Fund, EGD, is a listed managed investment scheme. And its strategy is to invest in companies aiming to generate capital growth over the long term that have exposure to your disruptive innovation. So this disruption thematic. So you're thinking of things like e-commerce, with the rise of Amazon and then potentially coming to Australia next year. Things like cloud computing and even artificial intelligence. And pleasingly, we were able to raise about $167 million on the IPO. Thankfully, we had some of your clients participate in that transaction. And we've recently announced that the fund is substantially invested, and companies that it's invested in include, Alibaba, PayPal, Facebook, and Alphabet, who is the parent company of Google.
Wow. So, and again, that's a really diverse range, and as the name suggests, it's really trying to sort of find those companies. As Fitzy opens the door for someone, good to see you picking up on that Toowoomba way, the Sydney way, good on you. It's good to see from a global disruption point of view that, you're offering that type of fund, because you think about, say, the taxi industry as an example and the huge change that Uber has brought there. Or even from an Australian retail point of view, the concern of Amazon coming, so it's an opportunity for Dornbush clients and of course broader investors to get exposure to that, but on the Australian Stock Exchange, buying in Australian dollars, tradable here.
Yeah, that's right. It is listed on the ASX, and we believe that the disruptive thematic will continue to play over the next few years. So it's a good way for investors to access that.
Indeed. Well, there's a few more things coming, but we can't talk about it now. It's all secret squirrel stuff. You'll have to keep an eye out on Dornbush downloads into the future. E-Man,
Andrew,
nice seeing you. Thank you
pleasure
very much.
to be here.
Till next week. Thank you.